Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Man at YouTube with another model review. This is the high grade Universal Century Thunderbolt Zaku Big Gun. Now this model was given to me by Hobbyco as a part of a sponsorship arrangement between the club Mecha Workshop Melbourne and them. We try to help promoting the hobby within Australia, as well as assisting Gunpla Builders Australia and the promotion of buying official models from brick and mortar stores. All that aside, straight into the model. Interestingly enough, with some of these Bandai sponsorship kits, they also double up as promotions or displays for stores and whatnot. They come in these plastic bags, no box, no instructions. I go into Hobby Search to download the instructions, but besides that, all the parts of the kit is here. The only thing that's special about this one to the ones you buy off the shelf is it's probably one of the earliest or first runs, which is pretty cool and interesting. The build was fairly straightforward. Complete different tooling and molding to any other Zaku model out there that I'm pretty much well aware of. The torso is very similar to the F2 and the more MSV later HGUC Zakus, so it comes together quite nicely. I did find the arm joints a bit weak and they snap, so that required a bit of a modification, as well as the leg joints onto the hip or crutch region sockets. But that aside, if you just pin them, this is a fairly straightforward kit to assemble. Details lovely. I love the rubber style covers around the arms and the wire tubing around the mouth and torso. Warning to snappers, those thrusters have a habit of just popping out, so they generally must be glued in. Now the big gun itself, it is extremely cool, extremely bulky and massive. I'm not using the entire thing. I built as much of it to see how much of it I was going to use, but I'm only using the gun component. The rest of the legs, which unfortunately I glued together and filled each seam line, is going into the bits box. Assembling it was very straightforward. Not a big fan of the detail of all the strange blocks around the place. It doesn't quite match the general look and appeal of the Zaku itself, though with a little modifications and a lot of pla plating and a touch of putty work, it's doable. But a lot of those seam lines are very awkward to get around, and it was just generally very chunky in very few pieces, so a lot of work required to make it your own personal thing. So in conclusion, not a big fan of out of the box big gun with the tripod. With modifications and doing your own thing, just kit bashing the hell out of it, a big fan. I sprinkled a lot of tank bits. I had a ton of wheels and sprockets and armor plating and viewing panels and sensors and whatnot. Glued it all over the place with a few builder parts, and it just blended in brilliantly. Bit of pla plating and Zimmer effect on the top plate of the barrel. The whole thing was airbrushed, which you'll see in the last video of honing your airbrush skills. Just a lot of shading of metallics and non-metallic colours. Came out to be quite effective. Extremely happy how this turned out. This gun will be mounted on my Gunpla Builders World Cup massive diorama as a machine gun nest in a trench. Back to the Zaku. It was stripped down and had a look. It was a bit of seam lines around the massive backpack, a little bit on the arms and legs. Nothing too difficult to handle, though definitely requires to be rustic and bulky. So I've decided to modify it with the very last amount of tank parts set aside for all of my Gunpla Builder World Cup kits and its reactive armour. It was strategically glued in place and puttied to contour and fit around the model. This is the use of mostly epoxy putties. And I found this really neat styrene sheet of these bathroom style tiles for architectural modelling. They were all cut to shape and randomly glued around as if they were repairing parts of the mobile suit or just adding extra armor. It does look a bit messy and untidy and random, just out of the box look, but painting, it should make more sense. Putty was applied to the left hand shoulder, and Zimmer effect was sculpted in. Just a bit of primer was applied. A day was allowed to dry, a lot of sanding to get all of that excess glue off all over the place, and it was ready for painting. Quite happy with the outlook and excessive detailing on this kit. Painting was fairly straightforward, but very labour intensive. Everything was primed using Tamiya primer, and in shading of layers from the darkest areas where shadows would be created to the lightest higher areas. Applied rust colours layer upon layer, showing each layer of gradient colour changing in light. Once this was created and I had my rust coat, salt weathered it with hairspray and salt, a few hours to dry. Did the same thing with green, from a very dark green black to a light green, various layers for gradient shading. Removed the salt, top coated it, matted it, and a series of weathering, including inking the panel lines using Tamiya accent colour black. MIG production pigments, earthy colours, and rust with its setter product. And the new product that I bought, the Mr. Hobby weathering pencils. Going to do a review on that very shortly. Weathered and highlighted, dry brushed, everything just to create as much of a rustic look as humanly possible. The finished product, and this is not a complete review because this model's meant to be apart and displayed and posed on a graded diorama. You'll have to finish when or wait to see when the whole project's finished. Just pretty much a review and my thoughts on this standalone kit. As a model kit by itself, absolutely love it. Definitely has its flaws as a snap model, so snappers, not too recommended for you guys. I did not care for the design, especially the big gun, at all. A lot of play value, but you have to glue in some places and be careful with others. As a piece to paint, modify, and just do something interesting and worthy, definitely should be applied to a diorama setting. It would be such a shame if it was posed by itself, but really loved it and glad I had it. I believe I would have definitely have bought it if I wasn't gifted it. I am extremely happy what I've done to it. I think the detailing and especially the work on the shoulder, backpack and gun has definitely made it into my own style. The painting and weathering, it's probably one of the best paint works I've done in a very long time, and weathering makes it very rustic, very used, sort of a veteran mercenary feel to it in my opinion. I think once it's a part of the greater diorama, it's going to pop quite nicely, but in the end, it's just a background mobile suit. There's a lot of interest and attention-grabbing actions that will be happening on that model. All in all, had a lot of fun playing with it, building with it. The detailing it was a blast. The big gun was just so much fun to play with. It would have been nice if I still had the stand, but might keep that for another project. All in all, in my search of all the Zaku kits I'm hammering through, if you're a Zaku fan, a Xeon fan, or really into dioramas, highly recommend this. A lot of work, but definitely very worth it. And just go all out. I reckon it's just, I can't say this enough, it's got to have a diorama. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned for the finish of the Gunpla Builders World Cup entry, which is going to be done in about a week's time. and videos and showing it off will happen a few weeks after that, once I've gone through the competition. And catch you guys later. See ya.